Hey everyone, how's it going? Today I will be showing you how to use my new add-on titled Mannequinefy. It's an Unreal Mannequin converter. It'll take your Genesis 8 and 9 characters and Blender Charmorph characters and convert them to an Unreal Mannequin friendly format, which unlocks Unreal's animation features on these characters or your character. I'll be showing you how to use it today. This guide assumes that you have already installed the add-on. You also have a character ready to go. Today I'll be showing you a Charmorph Vitruvian character, I think that's how you pronounce that, as well as a Genesis 9 character in Daz, which I'm going to send over to Blender in a second. On the Unreal side, I have a mostly blank project. I have a few stock mannequin animation sequence assets that I'll be using to test at the end of the video, as well as the control rig sample pack in my project as well, ready to go. If you're using motion matching, you will also want to use the game animation sample. I will not be using that in the tutorial today, but it's pretty much the same concept. And I'm going to walk you through getting these characters to do some fun little stuff in Unreal. So let's get started. We're going to start with the Charmorph character here that I have ready to go. They have their morphed and their assets fitted, shirt, pants, and boots, and a rig as well. And if we go to the add-on tab, which is the MQFY tab right here, you can see that I'm already on the Charmorph button. All you have to do is run this add-on with the correct input rig and it'll just convert it, and then you can export your character to Unreal. Before we do that though, we want to make sure that we have a few steps completed to make sure everything transfers correctly. We want to make sure all of our modifiers are applied, which they are, minus these rig ones. They can stay because we need those for the export anyway. But we want to make sure we have no shape keys. Our shape keys are applied on everything. And we want to make sure that we join everything into one mesh. The script works on one rig and one mesh together, so we're going to join the shirt, the pants, and the boots into the body mesh. Before we do that though, they need to have the correct corresponding UV maps. So I'm going to make sure that they all have this Vitruvian UV, UDIM UV map, which the shirt doesn't. So we are going to change that UV map name. The pants don't either, or the boots. Okay, now everything is matching, so I'm going to select everything, boots, pants, shirt, and the body, and join them all together to the body, Control J. Now it's all one mesh, great. I believe we are ready to go. So I'm going to select my body mesh as well as the rig. Make sure this is selected on the Charmorph input rig, and click the Mannequinefy button. It is going to take a second. And now it's complete. It actually only took 1 second. That was pretty quick. I like that. Make sure you have some water. Stay hydrated. We are now going to double check everything, make sure our rig is functional. Arms good. Pelvis good. Feet and head and neck all good. So our add-on moved this down to a _prepared collection by itself. When you run the add-on, the first thing it does is duplicate your mesh and your rig. It will not make any changes to your initial rig. So if you ever need to go back to make changes, all you have to do is delete your prepared collection and go back to your original mesh. I'm going to right click, select hierarchy, export to FBX, make sure selected objects is checked. I don't want to export any other mumbo jumbo. Vid test Charmorph, okay, export FBX. All good. Go to our project. Right click, import to current folder, wherever you want in your project. I'm using a dummy test folder. You can leave pretty much everything here to its default import settings. We're not going to mess with any of those. We're going to let it import. And it gave me these dummy animation sequences. We don't need those. We're going to delete them. We're going to open up our new mesh, and there he is. Let's make sure our deformations are looking good. Pelvis, okay. It's looking good so far. Cool. So I already did my homework and prepared the materials for these meshes. This is out of the scope of this add-on and out of the scope of this video. On some of the meshes, I took the textures from the assets in Blender, which you can see here, and I just imported them over. For example, for this Vitruvian, I do have both of the skin textures here imported with UDIMs, which they imported naturally in. It was very quick, very easy. So in my materials folder here, I already have my skin material, which is really simple. It's just a material plugged into color. I'm going to take this and plug it into the skin. Okay. And I already have my eye material set up too, which is actually just a copy-pasted metahuman eyes material. Very straightforward. The eyes, they did a great job with the eyes. I wouldn't try to make my own material. But if I go ahead and start setting it to these eye slots, I already can see that I have an issue there. So we're going to go back to Blender because our eye mesh is on a separate UV map, which I didn't double check before. I believe it's on this game pack one. Let's double check. So you go to edit mode. Let me get this body out of the way. Select the eyes. And yes, no UVs on the Vitruvian. So what we're going to do, very quick, separate by selection, hide the original mesh, take these eyes with the correct UV map. We're going to delete, sorry, I'm going to copy the name of this UV map. We're going to delete everything else, rename the correct UV map to the original mesh UV map, unhide, Control J, and now our eyes are back on the original first UV map. Simple enough. We're going to re-export. Here we're going to re-import. And look at that. Our eyes are good. I believe it's only on one material slot. These other ones are like kind of reflective-y looking stuff. I don't really think we need those. We're going to save some time here by making them invisible ones. We're going to make this a little bit cheaper on our computer. There we go. That looks good. And for the clothing, mouth, for the purposes of this video, we're also going to make it invisible. We're not doing anything face related. And for the clothing, I have my shirt material, my pants material, and those boots materials. The boots materials are also just copies of the metahuman boots materials, because the boots are actually just a modified version of the metahuman boots that I threw on. So we are going to take this and add it there. That looks good. And where's the other one? Boots rubber. That here as well. Okay. Everything's looking good. The pants and shirt materials are just from Fab. It's a very basic Quixel Megascan fabric material. Quick and easy. Download it, throw it on. And look, they look pretty good so far. Everything's on. Let's put them in our level. Nice. They're in. Cool. Close our tabs. Now we want to test the animation features on them. In my folder, I'm going to create a new level sequence here. Open it up. Add Vitruvian. Oops. I'm just going to delete him and just add it from the content browser. That makes it a spawnable in the sequencer, which is convenient for loading things. We're going to add a track. We're going to add a control rig track. Because we are on a separate skeleton, we need to uncheck this filter acid by skeleton to be able to get our mannequin body one. And right off the bat, you're going to get this nasty control rig problem here. This is a very important step. It's also in my guide as well that I will when you add the control rig, you're going to get this nasty setup here, which is a step that is outlined in the guide that I forgot to do, which I'm going to show you right now. If you ever get this, don't panic. This happens if you don't follow one more step. Back in our skeletal mesh asset, enable editing tools. If you don't have editing tools right here, make sure your editing tools plugin, skeletal mesh editing tools plugin, is enabled. You'll probably have to restart your editor. So enable that, go to skeleton, edit skeleton, select all the bones, Control A, select them all, change the transform scales gizmo to world space, reset all the bones so that they are 1, 1, 1, click accept. That'll reset the transforms of all the bones. Save, go back. That's what it's supposed to look like. Anytime it does that, which it'll do that anytime you re-import your mesh, you just want to go to follow those 6 steps. It's very simple. Cool. And now we have our control rig. Look at that. He's dancing. He's waving. Oops. Let's go back. Okay. Let's turn on the experimental gizmos. That's looking good to me. Sometimes they do this flickering thing there. I've noticed that in Unreal 5.6. All you need to do is change the actor bounds. I usually put it on 4 and that fixes it. There we go, that looks good. So the control rig is looking good. The Vitruvian is done. Nice and easy. We're going to do our Genesis 9 character next. we're gonna close this, get them out of the way. Okay, easy enough. If you're following along, nice job. So, we're gonna go back to Blender here, get rid of Vitruvian, they're out of the picture for now. I have my character ready in Daz Studio. It's a Genesis 9. I added some clothes and hair and all that stuff. I already sent my character to Blender. I'm not going to do that right now, but you will want to. Click, send it to Blender, accept, wait for it to finish. And then here, I already have one. We're going to get rid of them. We're going to get rid of that here too. I'm going to go to my Daz to Blender tab, import new Genesis figure, click OK, load them up. There she is, looking good. Very nice. So a quick side note, the process of converting Daz hair to an Unreal Groom asset based hair is also out of the scope of this video. As a bonus, I'll be showing you my workflow at the end of the video. So we're going to leave that out for now. Our character's going to be bald for a little bit, no worries. So I have the rig, the body, the clothes, and the boots. Looking good so far. So I can already see that I have a little bit of inner penetration right here between the body and the boots. Everything else is looking good, but for some reason Daz doesn't auto hide the body mesh underneath any fitted clothing, so we're going to do that ourselves before we do anything. So I'm going to go to edit mode, select the edge loops. Okay, cool. Make sure that's the right edge. It is. Okay, I have the vertices I want to hide selected. I'm going to delete them. Reshow the pants. Oops, I went a little too high. Control minus. Delete those vertices. That looks good. And our feet look good too. Cool. Quick issue, quick fix. Nice. From here, this is the same process as the Charmorph character and the same process within this add-on. So we have our clothes. We want to make sure that they all have the same UV map names as the body, which they do. Everything looks good there. No shape keys, no strange modifiers. Everything's looking good. Get rid of that. Okay, so we're going to select everything. Select it all together. Join it to the body. We want our eyes as well. Also, join that to the body. What are we missing? The mouth and the eyebrows and all the other stuff. We're going to leave that out for now. So we have the body and the rig. I'm going to select Genesis 9 right here. Run my script. Right off the bat, one issue that we want to keep an eye out for is that when we run the script, if you've already run it once in the file, it's going to rename your armature to .00 whatever. We want to change this just to roots. We don't want to root .001 or 002. If you export to Unreal with a .00 whatever, it will break your mesh. So we're not going to do that. We change it to root. Let's double check the rig. Oops, let's not do that one. That's ugly. That's scary. Thighs, legs looking good. Cool. And the spine. Cool. Everything's looking good. Back to object mode. Select these two. export to FBX. Change this to Daz Genesis. Make sure only the selected objects are being exported. Come back to Genesis. That's empty. We're gonna get rid of this. Right click, import to current folder, Daz Genesis, default import settings. Give it a second. There she is, looking good in her world grid material beauty. Everything's looking good. Nice. Again, I have my materials set up, ready to go. This skin material is a little more complex. This is actually a modified metahuman skin material that I have. As you can see, working with virtual textures and the UDIMs. Looks beautiful in renders. And we're going to set the skin to the arms, the head, the body. Okay, looks good. No mouth cavity, we don't need that. And let's see, the bra. Set those as well. These clothing textures are pretty similar to the ones I showed before, where it's just the raw textures from the assets in either Daz or Blender, wherever they're being referenced. I just drag them in and hit right click, create material. Very simple. So you will want to create those to match whatever you're trying to do. If you want a more performance, cheaper, faster to run and render materials, do not use the metahuman materials. They will probably fry your graphics card, as they do with mine. But for the purposes of this, we can mix them up a little bit and to get some pretty cool, pretty fun results. Okay, pants. Set these, set these. Which one's that? The boots. The same metahuman boots. The same rubber. And now the eyes. We want to set them all to the eyes, but I know that there's a thin mesh layer on top of where our eye would be, which we don't want to deal with that right now, so we're actually going to set this to an invisible material. And set that to all of them. Oops, sorry, not all of them. That one, there we go. That looks good, cool. Okay, she's looking pretty good, very nice. So we're gonna go run our same tests on her. Just file to save everything. New level sequence, open it up, add selection from content browser, add a control rig track, same bone transform issue. I forgot to do it again because I'm silly, probably because I haven't been drinking enough water. I'm not thinking straight. So I'm gonna accept this. I have another sip of water. Cool. Back to that bounds issue again. Set the bound scale to 4. Oops. Where did this just go? Hide that. And she's dancing. That's what I'm talking about. Let's get out of the way. Gizmos and stuff. Cool. We now have our Daz Genesis character on the control rig within Unreal. Very cool stuff. And that's the power of the add-on. You're now done. You can go to any animations you have. Go to this retarget menu. Yeah, she's already set up. That's awesome. Oop. That's not the one I want. There we go. Export animations. Now she's walking. And where the real magic happens, gonna add this walk animation here. Right click your skeletal mesh track, big to control rig, click the mannequin control rig, and look at that. Again, bring this out of the way. Let's delete all these global control keyframes. They're kind of a mess. And the last thing we want to do, turn off the game view mode. Look at that. Perfection. Beautiful. Probably the best add-on to ever come out in the history of Blender and Unreal Engine, honestly. So, if you made it to this point, thank you so much. And if you also made it to this point, you get the little bonus of her hair. Let's work on that real quick too, while we're here. So back here, I already converted the hair to a Blender curves object from the geometry mesh that the Daz exporter put into Blender. It's already this curves object. Converting it is a bit of a process. It takes a while to run the let's see. When you run object convert curves on your laptop, it's gonna take a bit of a moment to do that. I'm not gonna do that for you. It took like 20 minutes to convert it on mine because it's such dense topology and has a lot of vertices. But I converted it. Here we go. It looks good. So I'm going to parent it to this mesh right here. Control P. Object, attach curves to surface. I believe it's ready to go. I highly, highly, highly recommend using the Unreal Groom exporter by TurboCheek. Please correct me if I'm saying that wrong. I'm gonna say TurboCheek because I think that sounds cooler. This Groom exporter add-on, it is awesome. It's great. It's very, very useful. I was exporting grooms out of Blender with the .abc. Where is it? The Alembic exporter right here. It was like garbage. It was such a mess. It took like 10 tries to get it right. This thing is so quick because all I do is select this, go to this groom tab here, export the button. We're going to export that. Come back here, go to my groom folder. It's already here. We're just going to delete that. Import to current folder. Hey, where'd it go? Vid test ABC export. Import my groom. It's right here. Off the bat, it looks kind of fuzzy. Check this hair width to make it a normal hair width. We're gonna make it a little thicker. Let's try 0.03. All right. And I have a metahuman hair texture here as well. We're gonna throw that on. It's a pretty basic black hair color from the metahuman creator. Look at that. It's looking pretty good. We're going to go back to our skeletal mesh, right click, create blueprint using this. There she is. She's doing that goofy flickering. Let's turn this bounds back up to 4. Select our skeletal mesh, add a groom components. Select this groom, put it here. Look at that. It's probably not going to work because we need a groom binding, add a binding. Add the binding. I believe that's set up. Let's go back here. We're going to we're going to create a second one, a second track, selection from content browser. Oops, nope. Again, select our control rig. Oops, come on. Move to the side over here. And look at that. The hair is on. Crazy. It looks pretty good. I mean, this is like a great starting point for so many kinds of projects. I can even just add a camera right here and start the render if I wanted to. Thank you so much for watching. Thank you so much for downloading and trying out this add-on. Thank you so much for sticking with me, and thank you so much for staying hydrated. Drink some water. That marks the end of this video. That marks the end of the scope. Excuse me. That marks the end of the scope of this add-on. If you have any questions or suggestions or run into any bugs or anything I don't cover, please feel free to message me on my Gumroad or wherever else you're seeing this video. And don't forget to check this guide as well and this documentation. This will also help you out. Thank you so much. Bye-bye.